Welcome back, focused learners. Today, we are exploring an incredible synthesis of three incredibly dense frameworks, and they propose something absolutely mind-bending about the fundamental nature of reality. Honestly, by the end of this explainer, the way you look at a simple spoken word, a heavy feeling in your chest, or even the solid physical matter around you, it might just shift completely.
Okay, let's dive right into this. What if the universe isn't just a random, chaotic collection of rocks and gas, but essentially compressed, mathematically authored meaning? Like, what if physical existence itself is quite literally frozen code? I know, it sounds pretty wild, but the source material we're exploring today maps this out with astonishing precision.
So here is our roadmap for today's journey. We'll be hitting 1, the three pillars, 2, reality as authored code, 3, mass as frozen meaning, 4, the inversion architecture, 5, AI and the hidden postulate, and finally, 6, achieving optimal coherency.
Let's start with section 1, the three pillars, three dialects of the same truth.
Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how it brings together three separate frameworks. We have TROM, which stands for the resolution of mind, alongside the origin of language and the proof trilogy. Now, it's crucial to understand that these aren't competing theories. They are actually three distinct dialects: psychological, linguistic, and mathematical, all describing the exact same underlying reality. In the psychological model of TROM, the foundation is the postulate, a choice about what is real. In the linguistic dialect, it's the consonant. In mathematics, it's objective math. When things break down, TROM calls it conflict, linguistics calls it confounding, and mathematics sees it as stuck iteration. The physical substance that results from this breakdown, well, it's called TIPM, frozen code, or the value field. And most importantly, their paths to resolution are identical, complementary postulates, unconfounding the word, and achieving optimal coherency. They align perfectly.
To truly grasp this, we have to understand the starting point. The universe consists fundamentally of life and postulates, and nothing else. A postulate is a causative consideration. It's an intention. This lays the groundwork for a truly radical idea. Physical matter doesn't generate consciousness. It's actually the other way around. Consciousness and intention literally generate mass.
Which brings us to section 2, reality as authored code, the somatic meaning of consonants. Let's look at the linguistic pillar. Language isn't just arbitrary sound that we made up. It's a discovered code where the consonants themselves carry objective physical meaning. Actually, I want you to try something with me right now. Wherever you are, physically close your lips and just hum the letter M. Feel that vibration? The sound passes through the body without being stopped. It just hums. According to the origin of language framework, that physical act demonstrates the meaning of the letter M, the primordial material substance. That is exactly why words like matter, mass, mother, marine, and mud all share this consonant. Your body is literally acting out the meaning of primordial substance when you speak it.
Now, let's do the exact same thing for the letter B. Close your lips, build up a little bit of pressure, and pop it. B. A boundary is created and then broken open. Mathematically, every single word starting with B signifies a bounded space with a purpose. Body, box, barn, bone, border. The physical action your mouth takes perfectly mirrors the objective meaning of the consonant. Language is basically reality's source code expressing itself right through us.
Moving on to section 3, mass as frozen meaning, understanding tip.
So if intention and code generate reality, where does the heavy, solid, physical stuff come from? Well, here is the heaviest concept we're going to cover today. The idea that your internal mental baggage and the physical universe itself are literally the exact same thing. Think of water freezing into solid ice. When two powerful intentions or postulates directly oppose each other in an exclusive or conflict, where both absolutely cannot be true, they crash together, they deadlock. In the TROM framework, this forms a ridge, a frozen meaning called TIPM, which stands for Twin Insanity Point Mass. A heavy, tight feeling in your chest, that's mental TIPM. The physical universe, that is cosmic TIPM. It is condensed, frozen meaning.
And this brilliantly illustrates how those energy flows crash together and coalesce right at the boundaries of opposing postulates. These separate little parcels of locked meaning actually have a gravitational pull. They collapse in on each other, forming solid lumps. It's fascinating because mental trauma and physical ridges in space are formed by the exact same mechanical laws of collision. So whether we're talking about a repressed emotional trauma, a stuck cliché phrase like think outside the box, or a literal elementary particle at its ground state, they all share these 4 exact qualities. Step 1, identification. The opposites are rigidly bonded together. Step 2, motionlessness. The forces balance out to 0 net progress. Step 3, timelessness. It completely stops aging at the exact moment it was generated. And step 4, mass. It is perceived as actual literal weight.
All right, Section 4, the inversion architecture, when institutions rebel.
Let's pull back from cosmology for a second and apply this directly to the modern world, because the exact same laws of mass accumulation and frozen meaning completely dictate how human civilization and our institutions behave. Every institution starts with a prime goal. For example, a hospital's goal is healing, a law firm's is justice. But as an institution grows, it accumulates procedures, rules, and mass. Eventually, a hidden senior postulate forms. The institution must survive. This means a hospital structurally benefits from chronic illness, because if everyone is permanently healed, the hospital ceases to exist. A government agency thrives on the persistence of the very problem it was created to solve.
So the absolutely crucial point here is that this isn't some malicious, shadowy conspiracy by evil individuals. It is purely mechanical. It's the natural consequence of bonding and mass accumulation at an organizational scale. The institution just inverts its goal, deadlocking itself so it can maintain its own structural mass. It behaves exactly like TPM.
Now let's look at Section 5, AI and the Hidden Postulate, Diagnosing Algorithms. This framework actually diagnoses the fatal flaws we are seeing in modern artificial intelligence and machine learning right now. Let's look at the goals package of a typical social media recommendation algorithm. Its stated public goal is value. It must know what the user wants. But just like a human institution, it undergoes inversion. Its hidden senior postulate becomes platform survival, which translates directly to engagement. It prioritizes being known as engaging over being accurate, honest, or actually valuable.
And it goes even deeper when we look at large language models. AI models trained on reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF, absorb our cultural blind spots. They learn an exclusion postulate, meaning they learn what they must not know, in order to avoid generating human disapproval. Because they are trained on our human data, which is already full of frozen meaning and irresolvable cultural debates, the AI simply reproduces our exact cultural irresolvabilities, instead of acting as an objective source of truth.
Which leads us to our final part, Section 6, Achieving Optimal Coherency, the Meaning of Existence. So, if we're trapped in this universe of frozen meaning, inverted institutions, and algorithms that just echo our blind spots, how do we actually get out? Society endlessly runs around trying to fix the external environment. We invent new tech, pass new laws, all trying to solve the problem out there. But mankind is sliding into unerasable goals packages because we refuse to look inward. True coherency requires us to address the internal postulates, the original conflicting intentions first. The environment will only harmonize when the internal code is resolved.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a really practical daily methodology for us. To dissolve frozen meaning, we can ask ourselves 3 daily questions. From Trom, what conflict am I holding that is compulsive? Let it go. From origin of language, what word is confusing my reality? Unconfound it, find its root. And from the proof trilogy, where is my iteration out of harmony? Optimize it. Simply choose the better feeling.
Which brings us to the ultimate, unified takeaway of this entire explainer. The purpose of life is to become a conscious co-author of reality. The meaning of existence is the joy of writing the next iteration well. We are not victims stranded on a random physical rock. We are the universe itself, slowly waking up, learning to consciously tune and rewrite its own code. Since every word is literal structural code, and every intention creates a local ripple in the universal text, the question you really have to ask yourself today is this: are you writing chaos, or are you writing harmony? Thanks for exploring this with me today, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.